Good morning. It's the day of a big exam, a job interview, or the day you present a speech. You feel a cold or a cough coming on, or you have a headache or an upset stomach. We've all had days when we've felt like that, and days when we just have things that we need to get done. What do you usually take? Well, if you're like me, you'll go to the medicine cabinet, grab some headache relief or some Tums. You'll go ahead and pop one of those and hopefully feel better soon. However, if you're feeling a little bit uncertain of yourself, well, you might go ahead and pray over an arrowhead. Or if you're feeling weak, you might pray over a piece of pyrite. Wait a minute. Doctors don't prescribe arrowheads and pyrite. What are we talking about here? Well, centuries before Europeans arrived in the Americas, the Lakota people found relief and cures through nature and deep spirituality. It's through what is called Wopiye, the sacred medicine of the Lakota people. As we will see today, the Lakota people have attributed and still do attribute great powers to the Wopiye and the items contained within. Now, this is important when we consider how much medical research is going on today and all of the chemicals that are produced in these medicines and the side effects. If you've ever seen one of these commercials, you've heard all the side effects that can come from using these drugs. By using natural resources, natural items, things found in nature, we can avoid using those artificial chemicals, and it'll help enhance our own understanding and well-being of our health. Now, I'm a Native American Studies major, and my wife and I have sponsored a family on the Pine Ridge Reservation for the last several years. We've even been adopted by the family, and the kids call us aunt and uncle. So it's really a privilege to have that title bestowed upon us, and we take it seriously. And when I graduate, I hope to be an advocate for the Native American people. Now, Wopiye itself, yes, it is the sacred medicine of the Lakota people. And according to James R. Walker, the author of Lakota Belief and Ritual, it is also the medicine bag itself, which is shown here, and the contents within. It can also mean the mystery surrounding the powers of the contents of the bag. The Lakota Wopiye practice, the ritual, has been going on since at least European contact with the Lakota in the 18th century. But as the Lakota people had no written language, we cannot ascertain for certain when it began, but we're sure that it goes back to the creation story of the Lakota people. But Dr. Louise Chemnitzer of San Francisco State University examined these practices and found that they were still going on as late as the 1970s. He wrote about this in his paper, Structure, Content, and Cultural Meaning of Wopiye, which is another name for Wopiye, a modern Lakota healing ritual. This was published in 1976. Now, the contents of the Wopiye include the bag itself, which can be made from, as we see in the Native American Crafts and Skills book, can be made from buckskin, or in my case, the one I happen to have handy, is made of leather. Now, the buckskin itself, it shows the instructions, how to make it. It's a fairly simple item to make. However, it's not the item so much as it is the powers bestowed upon that item, and then those contents that are within it. Now, I have in my bag certain contents: arrowheads, rose quartz, crystal quartz, and agate and pyrite. And we'll get to those in a moment as to what each of those individually have as their own power. But the origins of Wopiye go back to Scan, which, if you're a Christian, it would be akin to our idea of the Christian God. The Wopiye is sacred, and it should only be used by medicine men and those it's bestowed upon, and only for good. If it's used for evil, then it's believed that many bad things will befall those people. So this bag, the contents within, are not to be used in any type of method other than that that's prescribed by Scan and the Lakota beliefs of the Wopiye. The bag itself may be passed from generation to generation. So I could take this, and if I had a son, I could give this to him, and then he would have the bag, but any of the power that's bestowed upon the bag is gone. That is only with the one person who originally owned that bag. Now, let's look at the actual contents of the bag quickly here. You have the arrowheads. Those are for courage. Rose quartz is indicative of love. Crystal quartz is indicative of wisdom. So perhaps that's something that we should pray over before we have a test or give a speech. The agate itself is for health, and the pyrite is for strength. Other items that may be in the Wopiye bag include dried powdered turtle heart, which I do not have handy today, cedar bark, which can be used as a disinfectant, soapweed, which is used for swelling if you get a bee sting, and yucca plant for an upset stomach. Now, the views of the Wopiye today basically are still believed by the traditional Lakotas, and it's still practiced by the traditional Lakotas. The Native American Church has what's referred to as peyote, and that is a small cactus from the Southwest. That cactus itself can give hallucinogenic properties, and it also is an illegal substance outside of the Native American Church. But it is legal for them to use in their rituals yet today. And it is a method that is still preferred by the traditional Lakota to go on what they call their vision quests or to provide healing. So today, we've examined the long-held beliefs of the Lakota relating to the Wopiye. We've looked at the power of Wopiye. We've looked at the origins of Wopiye. We've looked at the contents of Wopiye. And we have also examined the modern views of Wopiye. So, we have a topic, such as Wopiye. If we examine this through the lens of 21st century medicine, we may look at it and think, there's nothing there. However, how many of you have ever had a cut or a burn and used aloe vera on that? Have you ever used peppermint to soothe an upset stomach? Or, in case of myself, have you ever used echinacea to help with sinuses? Or, if you're unable to sleep, have you ever used valerian root? Those items are herbs found in nature. And if you've ever used any of those items, aloe vera, peppermint, echinacea, the valerian root, assorted other natural medications, if you've used those, you too have experienced the power of Wopiye. Thank you very much.